If you're a fan of TV and movies, because who isn't, you're going to love our next guest. She's written and produced a lot of crowd favorites such as 30 Rock and Pitch Perfect. She also just directed the movie Blockers, which will be available on DVD and Blu-ray next week. Let's take a look.
I'm in.
What?
I'm in. I'm having sex tonight, too.
Just like that?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Because it's your first time, and your first time should be special and perfect.
Yours can be special and perfect. Mine is gonna be tonight, and with that dude.
Just brownies or nothing.
Connor Aldrich, your lab partner?
Listen, my student-athlete days are over. Tonight is the beginning of my adult life, and for the first time, I can do whatever I want. So I want to go to prom, get drunk, get potted up on weed, and lose my damn virginity.
We're gonna have the same first-time sex anniversary.
We can go to dinner every year and commemorate it. Breadsticks for life, bitch!
Guys, please welcome the director of Blockers, Kate Cannon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for, I'm so happy to be here.
We're so happy to have you.
We're so happy to have you.
I really enjoyed the Barbie talk.
Honestly, we did not know it was gonna go there. That was a very authentic discussion.
I loved it.
Yeah. I mean, you roll with it. Butt chugging, scissoring. It's all the same family, you know?
It's all connected in some comedic amazingness.
Animals,
Synergy. Yeah.
I just saw the movie this week. We have a copy of the DVD here.
On that.
It's so funny, it's so awesome, and you are one of the few female directors to have directed a rated R comedy.
Yeah, studio release comedy.
Studio release?
Thank you.
So badass, so awesome. Tell me about it. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels great. Like when I was shooting the movie, I didn't feel any real pressure other than the pressure I was putting on myself as a first-time director. But then when the movie was coming out, I was like, holy crap. I hope this does well because there's so few of us ladies who get this opportunity. And if it were to not do well, I think there'd be even fewer. So I felt this like huge stress of, the Monday before it opened on Friday, I woke up in the middle of the night. I was like, to my husband, like some kind of fake thing that you only see in the movies. Where I was like, people are gonna see the movie. They're actually gonna see it. It's not gonna be just friends and producers.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be real people.
Yeah, I would imagine that pressure feels like a lot when you are one of the few females doing it.
Yeah.
And the DVD that just came out has a lot of special features. What do those involve?
There's a lot. There's a lot of runs. We did a lot of improvising, a lot of different jokes. So there's a lot of that in there, which is really funny. There's a puke sequence in the movie, and so there's kind of a behind the scenes of the puke colors that I chose.
That's hilarious.
Thank
and
you
how
so
each
much.
person.
Is it really serious? The artistic decision behind?
Yeah. There's an art behind it for sure, and a lot of I was like, what would Sam have eaten during the day? So there's that. I think there's some butt chugging. Extra fun, if you can believe it. Yeah, I think there's just a lot. And then I do a commentary on it, yeah.
That's great.
So you mentioned all of the fun stuff you talk about, but I read that you have a daughter, and she actually influenced how you approach this movie. So how did that
when I read the script, I was actually related more as a parent than I did as who used to be a teenage girl who lost her virginity. I was really I looked at my daughter at the time she was 2, and I was like, she's so perfect, she's so beautiful, she's so smart, and one day she'll grow up, and I hope nothing bad happens to her. I was like, please don't date Jax from Vanderpump Rules.
Oh God, what?
Oh no, do you love him?
No, he's the one. Oh no.
He's our next guest.
Yeah.
Come on out, Jax.
Oh, Jax! Oh, I hope that you're my son-in-law one day.
Yeah.
No,
With Jiggy.
or whoever she wants, But I was like, oh, how am I going to be as a parent? And I'm a really progressive mom. I just really want to make sure my daughter grows up and loves herself. That's, that's all I care about. I think that's the biggest challenge, just trying to make sure she loves who she is. So I thought a lot about that, and I wanted to show, I know it's this R-rated, raunchy comedy, but I really wanted a movie that she could watch when she's old enough that shows regular women, young women who have agency over their own sexuality and their bodies, and they're smart and capable and all that kind of stuff.
And a movie that also shows how cool her mom is for directing it. I mean, that's super, that's amazing.
Try telling her that.
I will. So your resume is so impressive, but I'm always interested to know, what made you want to get into comedy?
Well, ever since I was a little kid, I have always been drawn to comedy. I was an actor first, and I was in a bunch of comedies, and so I have kind of I've kind of grown into my face, but I had like a bit of a cartoon face growing up. So I was definitely never gonna do dramas, like I was always gonna be in comedy. But then when I was in college, I saw The Second City. I'm from the Chicagoland area, and I saw The Second City out of Chicago. And that show really influenced me a lot, like where I was like, oh, that's what I wanna do for a living. And I still went and got like a master's in education because it's a tough career choice to make. Yeah. But yeah, that's what just inspired to make people laugh, I guess.
And then at Second City, you met a certain lady named Tina Fey, which is how you ended up writing on my favorite show of all time. Literally, the most influential show, 30 Rock, that like made me want to go and become a writer and go into TV, like no joke. And I was looking, because of course I was doing a little research on you yesterday, and you wrote one of probably the most iconic 30 Rock episodes, Black Tie, with Prince Gerhard
That was my first
Habsburg.
script.
No way.
I mean, I wrote scripts to get the job, but
Right.
that was my first like official script that I ever wrote.
That if you ever watched 30 Rock, go home and do that.
Yes.
But that episode like really defines how weird and witty and funny 30 Rock will go for the next 7 seasons. So what was it like writing that script and then writing for the rest of the show?
It was so crazy, yeah.
Gerhard.
Gerhard. Yeah, and he had this tiny little baby.
It's my birthday!
Yeah. Thank you for coming to my birthday!
And Jenna, across the board, it's so funny.
And he's like, dance for me.
Yeah,
and he's
dance,
doing all these
dance.
They're like, you gotta see it, guys.
Yeah, you gotta see it.
Bunch of nerds up
No,
here.
it was amazing. Well, because I co-wrote it with like Tina Fey, because it was my first script, so she was such a great mentor to me. And what was really cool about it was the shooting of the episode, because Isabella Rossellini was also in that episode.
Yes.
And so Paul Rubens, who played Gerhardt, was in this like little like sort of wooden wheelchair made specifically for him, being really weird with this tiny little hand. And then he and Isabella Rossellini had a moment together. They had this beautiful story of how she had written him a letter back when he was having some problems, and her letter was like, be kind to yourself, don't give up. This happened to my mother, and sort of helped save his life in a lot of ways. And so he was telling her that, and then they hugged. And so I'm like first time like baby writer watching Isabella Rossellini hug Paul Rubens with a little tiny baby in hand or whatever. And I think that's just like amazing moment. It was really, really special.
Oh, that's so great.
That's awesome.
I also want to talk about Pitch Perfect because I'm a huge fan. I did some competitive singing with my choir in high school.
I love it.
Those films, I was like, this is so me. Like, this is so like true to what it's like when you're out there and you're like, we're taking this too seriously. We're singing pop songs. And you also produced those films. So like, how was it experience? And like, did you know it was going to be such a huge hit?
No, I had no idea. I just wanted to write a comedy that was set in college and that had music in it. Like, I did not anticipate that it would be, marketed to young girls. It's terrible. Of course it is, but like for me, I just wanted to write a funny movie, and for me, I was writing a sports movie where they are competing for the champion and they're the underdogs.
Yeah.
So I think having that approach actually helped the movie because I just felt like as an improviser, it's kind of the same kind of world, like. In that it can be competitive and we take it really serious, and so people become famous and all that kind of stuff. But I wrote it in 2008 or 9 or something, and then Glee came out, and it was dead. Like, it was sitting on the script was like sitting on a shelf for like a couple years or something. And then we finally got greenlit with Universal and Gold Circle, and so it didn't come out till 2012. So I was just so happy, like at the premiere of the first movie, I was just like, I cannot believe this movie's coming out. Like, I still kind of felt like it wasn't gonna happen. So that there's a second and a third is unbelievable to me.
So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like a phenomenon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And like what I would get, I still get sent so many videos, and one of the ones that touches my heart so much is there was these kids, 12-year-old boys in Dublin, Ireland who came out of school and they were like in a Catholic school or whatever, and they like were like took off their jackets and stuff and they were singing cups through the streets of Dublin, and it's just, like without a care in the world, you know, like not feeling like they were being judged or anything like that. I thought that was so cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
We actually have John Michael Higgins coming on tomorrow.
Oh, the hilarious John
Who
Michael Higgins.
is one of the what is it, moderators, commentators in Pitch Perfect. Him and Elizabeth Banks are so
So good.
So funny
They kill it.
together.
How fun is, just side of, how fun is it to watch them? Is that a lot of improv?
Yeah, they do a lot of improvising. It's really fun to write for them too, because it's like once I realized like that he was just a terrible, like misogynistic character, and that she was kind of like calling him out, but also she had her own issues too.
So good.
It was really fun to write for them, and then of course they just go off and they improvise a ton. Like John, especially, is an amazing improviser.
That's amazing. So, like I said, we have him coming here tomorrow, and we want you to leave him just like a little question or a little love. So, do you have any questions for him? And if you do, can you say it to camera 3?
Camera 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. John, was there ever a line of dialogue that you said that you felt went too far?
That's good.
That'll spark some conversation.
I'm excited to hear that tomorrow.
I love that.
Yes.
So, of all the hats that you wear, and you wear a lot of damn hats, which do you really love? Which like feeds you the most?
Well, I definitely directing, because writing really sucks. It's like it's really hard, and all the jobs are hard. But writing is just, you know, what's wonderful about writing is that you can actually like hold a script and you're like, I made this, and it's tangible. And but directing is, I don't know, maybe that combination of directing something that I write is like what I think is really gonna challenge me and something I want to do next. But I like bringing something to life.
You also created the great Netflix show Girl Boss, which I love. So do you have any future projects creating more TV shows?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I have a production company called K&L Productions with Laverne McKinnon, and we are doing both TV and film, and we're gonna come out with bunch of stuff.
Oh, so
That's
excited.
great. We're so excited to see all that.
Well, Kay, I feel like we could talk to you for another hour, but we're gonna let you go. Guys, give it up for Kay Cannon.